Hey guys! On today's video we're going to be doing the 3 marker challenge. Quick disclaimer, I will be using a pencil and an eraser and a fine liner to just do the outlines bit, but all the actual colouring will be done with only the 3 markers. So what I've done is I've got Draw with Jazz's Arty Games app and I've input all the Copic markers that I have, and I'm going to use the colour challenge section to select 3 colours and then we're going to make an artwork from them. Let's hope it's something good. Okay, so we've got Baby Skin Pink, Y11, which is like a really pale yellow, and then I've got RV42. So here are the 3 markers. They're all quite pale, so I think we can work something quite good with these. Let's get into the top-down view and see what we're working with. So before I get into talking about the actual drawing itself and why I chose to draw what I did, I first need to talk about the Y11 marker, which when I swatched it was basically empty and I do not have a replacement for it at the moment. So I picked up my Y13 marker as it's pretty much the same colour if a little more pigmented, but I figured it would do for the purposes of this video and I didn't want to have to repick the colours. I also will be using the blending marker a little bit in this video. It was more just to try and create some highlights, but as it's not a colour I didn't think it bent any other rules too much. The drawing I decided to go for this video was quite fun and girly and sort of preppy. I thought that fit the colours quite well. I wanted it to be sort of childish but in a carefree way. So she's sort of, the girl's like laughing, she's got her arms behind her head and she's just chill in a cute little pastel outfit, and that's what I decided to do. Something fun that made me think of summer and friends and having a nice time. I actually couldn't believe my luck when I pressed the random button and I managed to get E21, because it is the skin colour that I use 9 or 90% of the time. In my head, while I was like waiting for it to pick, I was thinking, okay, if I get some like blue or purple, I'll do like an alien. If I get red, I'll do some kind of a demon. And then, ta-da, skin. I was like, cool, I can just draw exactly what I'm used to drawing and not worry too much. The only thing that's a bit different from my other drawings in this one is that I don't draw very many pastel clothes. I actually had to look up like the style of clothing that went with pastel colours, which is very cute, and the tops are always a little bit flowy and they're cropped and it's all very cutesy, which, thinking about it, I don't draw very cute things. They're more like, I don't know, edgy, I guess is the right word. But I did have a lot of fun doing this cute style. It's maybe something I'll try in the future, like trying different styles of drawing out. That would be quite fun to work with. I could have gone for pink hair in this drawing, but I realised I'd need the pink quite a lot for the outfit, and blonde is a normal natural hair colour, so I figured I'd just make her blonde. I think if I'd got weirder colours, I probably would have done a weirder thing, but as I'm quite new to the 3 marker challenge, I figured I'd just start off slow instead of trying to be too aggressive with it. So I realised fairly quickly I couldn't make her whole outfit pink, as she would just blend into her skin. So what I did instead is I made like the accents on the top pink, but made the actual like bulk of it yellow, and then I kind of do the reverse on the shorts. I also thought that doing this meant that she kind of looked like sunshine in a way. As I was drawing this, I was going like, oh, she kind of reminds me of sunshine, she kind of reminds me of sunshine. So I figured the more yellow I incorporate, the more it pushes that sunshiny type ideal. So proper shading was obviously going to be a problem when the 3 colours I was able to use are all quite pale. So instead what I did is I used layering, because alcohol markers are great for layering, I reused the skin colour over the yellow to make it seem a lot darker, and that way it just gives it a bit more depth. The plan was to do the shorts in the solid pink colour. However, when doing the shorts, as you can see, it dawns on me that my pink is running out as well, and I do not have any extra ink for it. So I figured what I'd do is I would get as much of the pink out as humanly possible and then go over it in the baby skin pink colour, because that'll just like solidify it a bit more. It actually turned out quite cool. I was worried that it would blend too much into her skin. However, the outcome ends up looking pretty cool, and it just goes to show you this kind of challenge really makes you sort of expand your mind in terms of problem solving when you can only use 3 colours. For her socks, I really wanted them to be like white and yellow, and the only thing I could think of doing was doing the yellow in strips and then like blending it out with the colourless blender. It kind of looks okay here, but as I get further into the drawing, I realised having these semi-white gaps just look really odd, and I think I end up colouring them in pink. I tried to employ the same tactic on her shoes, so making like the toes white blending into the yellow, but again it just didn't look right. I think this is like a technique I'll try and play with in my spare time, because I was just kind of making it up on the spot. I want to see if any other artists have done it, and if so, how they managed to do it, and then maybe I'll try it again myself. At this point, the drawing really started to come together, with colouring in the suspenders in the same pinky colour as the shorts. Really brings it all to like one theme, and I think the outcome's really cute, to be honest. I decided that some elements of the drawing, like her hair and the bows on her belt, it was a bit flat, so I added the other colours back into the drawing, like on top of it, as a way to create shadow and a bit of interest. Instead of her just having blonde hair, she's got like pinky sort of streaks in. I just think it makes the piece a little bit more interesting, to be honest. I knew her eyes were probably going to be the biggest challenge for me, because with eyes I always try and like to make them like a completely contrasting colour to the rest of the drawing, but I obviously can't do that in this drawing. So I kind of went for like pink in the centre and yellow to highlight it, but she just looked a little bit soulless and kind of creepy, which is not what I wanted to go for. So I just used my black fine liner and just blacked out a big section of her eyes, so the colour was only like a very small sliver, and I think it just makes her look a bit more human, so she looks more cute than creepy. One really good thing that my art teachers taught me at school was never have a character look like they're floating. So I always try and put some kind of shading underneath the person, like where their shadow would be, just so they look like they're actually part of the world and not in this empty void. I originally just tried using the pink to create like a nice sort of rosy colour on the floor, but again, I had no ink left in it, so I went over it in yellow, and I realised it kind of looked like she'd wet herself and was happy about it. So I was like, oh well, that can't stay. So what I ended up doing is I just took my fine liner again, and I just decided to go all the way underneath her, and that way the colour's still there, but there's a disconnect between the colour of the shading and the colour of the character. So here's the result of my 3-marker challenge. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I'm glad I chose such a fun pose to go with these like preppy, colourful colours. I know I didn't technically use the original 3 that I picked, but as I explained, that's because Y11 was running out, so I exclusively only used Y13. I did lend myself to use my colours blender a little bit just to try and create some highlights, but it's not a colour, so it's fine. It's not cheating. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. It was quite interesting to think about what pose I would do for the colours that I had, or like how I would make the colours work. So it's quite impressive that I was able to do this with only 3 colours. I think I'll definitely do this again. It was a lot of fun and it was a good challenge. And yeah, if you liked that video, give it a like. If you really liked it, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.